Hi, welcome back. I'm Melissa Laing. Today we're going to be discussing how to use the reformer appropriately. So, when we get on the reformer, most people just think it's about exercising the legs, but actually it's about understanding how to stabilize and work the legs. So it's giving the stability muscles an opportunity to practice how well they're able to control the spine. So we talk about neutral spine or imprinting. So you have your lumbar curve just here, your thoracic curve and your cervical curve. And the pelvis just sits nicely here. You're wanting to be able to move the reformer. I'm just going to take the springs off to exercise this. But you're wanting to be able to move the reformer back and forth without this part of your spine going up and down, okay? So I'm just going to take Boris off for a second. So what tends to happen is that when people get on the reformer and they're sitting there and their pelvis is in neutral, as they push away with their legs here, their pelvis tips into an anterior tilt, and then as they come back, it goes in, it tips into a posterior tilt, and as they come back, it tips into an anterior tilt. So there's this fine tuning of movement here, which we're actually not wanting. So it's important that when you get onto the reformer, that you first recruit your pelvic floor, which sits inside here, and the pelvic floor joins together and sort of holds all your internal contents in place, but more importantly, it allows the sacrum to come together and feel like it's nicely positioned like so. Then your transverse, which attaches to this bottom surface of your pelvis and the bottom surface of your rib cage here. So if we just put these two together for the moment, not ideally, but the transversus is your corset muscle, which sits in between here. Now what happens is the pelvic floor stabilizes and the transversus contracts much like a corset to create stability so that the vertebra here don't move up and down and the pelvis doesn't move back and forth. And then you work the leg muscles to take the spine up and down. So a nice image that I like to use for my clients is to visualize that if when they're lying there, I'll just move the pelvis away again, if when they're lying there, they could imagine that they're a bit like one of those horses on a merry-go-round and that there's a pole straight through the center of their body and that their pelvic floor and their corset muscles are squeezing hold of that pole and therefore allowing the spine to just stay perfectly still as the carriage moves back and forth. Okay, in Reformer 2, we'll show you exactly how to use the reformer.